You stopped my trade agreement for tea. Give me 3,200 gold. Did you do it? You did give me 3,200 gold because you stopped the tea trade deal. Can I do it again? I would also like another 3,200 gold for the tea deal you cancelled. And it worked. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Spiffing Brit, and today we are playing Humankind. That's right, this is the latest grand strategy 4X game, which is basically muscling in on the very jazzy civilization genre. This is being lauded as the Civ Killer, which honestly isn't that difficult considering each DLC they release makes it more and more unplayable to even start up a multiplayer game. Now, the developers of Humankind were actually kind enough to put me in their video game. That's right, this is me in the background. Look at this lovely spiffy chappy. Now, the thing is, you can actually play as me as an avatar, but more excitingly, you can actually play against me in a video game. I know, that's right, this is one of your few limited opportunities. I've even been able to customize the personality settings of my own character. Can you guess what I told the developers to make my character do? That's right, make as much money as humanly possible and burn the entire world into ashes. It's the perfect combination of gameplay balance. But today I'm going to be playing a game of Humankind as myself, and of course I will be exploiting the video game to throw our civilization into a position of infinite wealth, but most importantly also complete and utter dominance, because this game is completely unbalanced. We're talking the ability to break the AI in trade deals, we're talking about the ability to take over the entire world via pacifism, and even more excitingly, we're going to do it with large quantities of cups of tea in hand. So, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're sat back, relaxed, you have a nice warm cup of tea in hand, and if you're feeling especially fantastic, you can even like this video now. I'm going to be showing off Humankind and absolutely breaking the game. So, let's throw ourselves into the fantastic world of Humankind. So, welcome into the game. We start out with our basic tribal hunting party, because that's right, unlike Civilization, you don't start out with just some random settler and a warrior. Nope, you start out with a whole bunch of hunter-gatherer tribes people who are trying to walk around a landscape full of woolly mammoths that will one-shot all of them. Seriously, I've tried to take out a woolly mammoth with like 4 tribes people and it just doesn't work. They are terrifying. Most importantly, we get to play our nomadic tribe being led by none other than me. I mean, just look at my gorgeous rippling biceps and for some reason my nomadic top hat and monocle. Yes, it's almost like I've been sent back in time to lead these people. Now, when it comes to this game, it's actually surprisingly simple. What we're going to do is just immediately run on over to this spot here where a sanctuary is spawned in, and we'll sack it for food next turn. This food will then immediately be converted into additional tribespeople, and there we go, that's an additional tribesperson. Right, now that we have 2 tribespeople, I'm naturally going to send one of the tribespeople off to go claim this bit of influence here so that we can settle a city, and then tribesperson number 1 is going to actually settle our city. Now, this is a lot faster than any of the AI can actually manage it, and that's because we intend to beeline our way through this entire video game. And there we go, this is our first city, slap bang, place down. It's going to take 3 turns to finish, but trust me, it's going to be jazzy. Now there we go, with a population of 5, my empire is actually ready to move up into the next era of the game, which is exactly what we're going to do. Now when it comes to picking the next era, you actually change your culture entirely to a culture from history, and as you pick up each culture and the later you go into the game, you keep various bonuses from the pre-existing cultures of your civilization. Now as you can imagine, this can completely break the game by creating wombo combos that have basically zero balance whatsoever. But of course that's a late game exploit and breaking, and so we're miles off of that. But don't worry, because the developers have decided to include exploits that can be started right at the start of the game, which is where the Olmecs come into the picture. These are some insane characters, not only because they have some great buildings like the ability to build the Olmec head to create absolutely insane food and faith field if you build a city near the river, but also they have a great unit and they have one of the wackiest features I've ever seen. So we're going to confirm and turn Spiff from being a tribal game breaker to becoming a incredibly ripped Olmec game breaker. Welcome into the brand new era, ladies and gentlemen. It is looking particularly jazzy. Suddenly the giant mammoths don't stand as much of a chance because we're using scouts instead of peasant tribespeople with sticks. Now because we've teched up, we can actually start researching new technologies, and instead of doing what any smart player would actually do and go for a balanced empire with maybe a nice and decent economy, we are instead beelining straight for our javelin throwers. Why on earth are we doing this? Well, it's because they are completely and utterly broken. Now, when it comes to basically every city, cities produce food, industry, money, and science, the cornerstones of every single empire, and we can build these legendary Olmec heads, which, if I were to build one here, would produce 12 food and 13 faith. To compare that to a standard farmer's quarter, which over here would produce just 3 food, you can kind of guess that it's a little bit broken. So we're going to be building it, of course. Now, this game, as you can probably already guess, is made by the same people who made the incredible Endless series. That's right, Endless Legends, Endless Space 1 and 2, and those games are brilliant, and equally they're completely broken strategy games with no balance, and in all of those games the developers decided that it would be wise to include a way to take over territory without being at war with the owner of the territory. Isn't that a great feature? Now, the interesting thing about the Olmecs as a civilization is they have access to the unique aestheti bonus. Okay, I have no idea what it means, but basically what it means is every time you produce, I think it's around about 100 influence, basically for us every 10 turns, you can use one of 2 actions: tourism yields or influence bomb. Tourism yields just gives you plus 100% gold for 10 turns. That's great. Brilliant. Influence bomb, however, is a little bit more exciting because there is an entire cultural game going on. Whilst, say, I don't know, the English might control this sector here, if they don't have the correct influence controlling this sector, they can't really do much with the lands. And the game has just given us a button so that every 10 turns I can just press a button, and no matter what the culture of the people are in a certain territory, we can just go, actually no, your culture doesn't matter. Really, you should be focusing on our culture. It's way more exciting. And those people who were worshipping that culture will just sit down and go, yes, why not? Now, because our influence production is increasing because we control more territories, that means we're able to use this ability more and more. Last turn it said it was going to take me 10 turns to gain this bonus. Now it's only going to take me 6. Oh dear, something is going wrong. Now, what I'm going to be doing is starting Operation Peaceful Exploration, which basically means I'm trying to find where the other AIs have settled so that I can eventually invade their lands. Now, I'm going to be spending basically more and more of my influence to claim more territories, but the more territories I claim, the more influence I gain, and you can kind of see where this is going. Yeah, it's just going to be one great big old snowball of fun. Oh, here we have it. I'm pretty sure this is another civilization. Yes, we've met friends, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Babylonians. Right, I will introduce myself. Hello there. And they've tried to open up a trade for luxuries, and you know what, that's okay. That kind of works fine for us. Now, I do want to eventually murder this civilization for very important reasons, but interestingly, next turn I'm going to be able to culturally take over one of their territories, and that's when interesting AI diplomacy is able to get started, because here we have the legendary influence bomb option. It costs us nothing and allows us to destroy the AI. Now, I'm pretty sure this territory is actually someone's capital, so we're not able to take control of it. Yes, it is indeed someone's capital. Whose capital is it? I do believe this is the Chinese at the moment. Yes, the Zhao dynasty currently controls all of this land, and sadly that means we can't quite murder them just yet. But what we are able to do is completely crush any of their expansion ideas. Now, in terms of score, we're in first place compared to the AI on 246. The next AI is on 20. Look, they're slowly catching up. They're just not as good as the game as I am because, you know, pro gamer Spiff. Now, because my influence per turn is going up so very quickly, this is when interesting things happen, because the lovely Zhao faction has claimed this territory. They're building an outpost, but because they're doing that, we're able to ask for reparations via diplomacy. We can send them a demand basically saying, hey, you've claimed a territory that's adjacent to one of my territories, yoink, I want this to be mine. And the AI is going to completely and utterly accept, not least because I'm in the lead in terms of score, but mostly because, culturally speaking, this territory is 80% mine, because my influence and culture is spreading at a terrifying rate. What this means on paper is that the AI can't actually expand, because our people are just taking over so much control. Look at this, we control 36% of the culture in the capital province of Xiangjing, which is just insane. Anyway, we've stolen this bit of land, that's now ours. Oh, and once again, we've generated enough influence because we're making 45 influence per turn to do a insane influence bomb. Naturally, we're going to just pick the territory that we just stole and make it now 100% ours. Now, because we make 45 influence points per turn, that basically means we can use this ability every 3 turns, which is insane. And once again, another 3 turns have passed, meaning I can do an influence bomb, where naturally I'm going to convert this newly settled region here from underneath the AI. This is pretty exciting because basically this is someone's brand new capital city, and we've just converted it into being our own. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh my goodness, and because I've just beat beeline through the entire tree. We've already hit era 2 if we wanted. I mean, we could pick a new culture. Maybe it's a good idea. I mean, we could just do cultural transcendence because I haven't even had time to show off the exploit. Okay, you know, I'll explain the exploit because I've accidentally gone through the game so quickly I can't even show it off. Basically, what happens is if you stumble upon an AI which has settled an outpost, we can use this cultural influence bomb to take over the influence of a territory. Now, if we have the majority of the influence in a territory, what ends up happening is something very interesting. We get to make a demand to the AI faction and say, hey, look, the people in your outpost lands evidently worship our culture, our religions, and drink our beloved Yorkshire tea. And the AI faction will sit down and go, you know what, you're right, I shouldn't control this land, you should have it. And they will basically give you all of their territory provided you have cultural dominance over it. That is, all of their territory excluding their capital city, which you cannot trade out from underneath them. Instead, we just have to kill them, which is surprisingly easy to do, especially considering I'm about to ascend to the next level. Now, we're going to use this era to not become anyone who's, say, scientific, but instead to become the literal Huns, because the Huns have the ability to build the Hunnic Horde, a special unit that basically the more people it kills, the more units you end up having, which is great. And look, it even turns my lovely beloved Spiff into wearing a pretty jazzy getup. I mean, I look beautiful, don't I? So bam, we are in a brand new era as the Huns. Everyone around us is not the Huns, and as you know, this means they are all going to die. Now, because I've teched up to the next era as well, I'm actually going to be able to pick a world wonder, and I'm going to build the Museum of Harley Canassus because this has a absolutely broken science feature where you gain plus 1% science per district you have. You have 100 districts, that's plus 100% science. That doesn't seem very fair. Oh my goodness. Now, the Huns also have a pretty wacky district. This is the Ordu. It can be built literally anywhere because the Huns are nomads, so it makes sense that it doesn't have to be attached to a city but can instead be placed literally anywhere in your empire. And what happens is if we place it down in certain regions like this spot right here, it will give this city plus 23 production, which is insane. That would more than double the current production of our city. Good lord. Oh no. Now, what we're going to be doing in my empire is mass producing a large amount of these Hunnic units and then sending them off to literally murder everyone because they do insane amounts of damage, and the more units they kill, the faster they grow, which means there is no end to the amount of chaos they're going to be causing. Now, because I have enough gold stored up, I'm actually just going to outright buy this Ordu, but this is where we're going to be able to see just how much of an insane production jump this is, because normally it would take us 4 turns to build a public fountain, but with the Ordu, it's now 1 turn. Oh dear. Oh god, what have I created? Oh, the Huns, you are too powerful, and there is no way to stop you. Your special unit uses only horses, and of course gathers food as it just literally walks around. So this is going to get pretty insane very fast. Now, you know, it's turn 40, and the 7th strongest Civ in the game is just standing beneath us, which means it makes sense for us to absolutely decimate them. Now, they are going to try and run away, which is garbage, classic humans, but what we're going to do is chase them down and turn their humans into food. Now, remember, the Huns aren't cannibals, they're just really good at murdering people. Right, now it's time for us to attack these poor little peasants, and of course it's going to be a glorious victory, where we gain 10 food, meaning we're once again halfway towards a horse. Now, this is going to panic the Mycenae AI faction, because, meaning what on earth can they do, because I've just been attacking them, but luckily for them, I don't intend to completely murder them, I just intend to subjugate them into becoming my vassals. Right, now I am going to declare war on the Mycenae AI faction there, and most importantly, I'm going to start ransacking one of their local cities, because that's going to allow me to create even more units in this army. And look, we get 89 food from this ransacking, and 89 gold. Sorry, that's going to complete this entire army in 1 turn. You know what? That's fine by me. I feel like we just need to go to war with everyone then. I'm just going to walk straight into the capital province of this AI as well. The Zhao AI, who's in 2nd place, we can also go to war with them because I'm going to raid their horse pastures for food. Give me your horse pastures. Oh my goodness, this is brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We're going to have the biggest army in the world. Right, well, let's see how we do next turn with all of this food. Yep, there we go. We now have some giant mega Hun armies with no counter. Oh my goodness. Now, what's so exciting about these Hunnic armies is that we can actually transfer out new armies from these existing armies and get them to do their own ransacking and pillaging. There is no end. Right, we're just going to confirm this battle, and that's a victory, giving us 10 food, which brings us even closer to getting another free unit. This army is going to get a new free unit as well. And what can this army do? I guess you could siege the capital of this empire? Sure, why not? Like, I know the Huns were very good at doing wars back in the day, but this feels a little extreme. Ladies and gentlemen, I jump into the midpoint of the video to offer you a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. We here at Spiffco have run into a slight problem. Thanks to an accidental immortal horse duplication exploit involving endless quantities of raiding, I now have more battle horses than I will ever need. Consequently, the first 7,000 people to like this video will receive their very own battle horse within 10 to 14,000 working days. It will arrive at your front door and fight to the death for you should the need arise. Anyway, back into the video. Now, the green AI here believes that the war is going pretty fairly, so they want a white peace where no one wins or loses anything. I'm naturally going to refuse this treaty because I am sieging down their one and only city with an endless horde of horses, which usually means that I currently have the upper hand. Now, when it comes to research, we're not exactly falling behind. We're at 49.2, which is absolutely brilliant. And oh my goodness, here we go. I completely missed this. It's the legendary night raids plus 15% ransack gains on an army. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. What does that mean? That's more horses, ladies and gentlemen. More infinite horses for my unlimited horse army. Right, now that ransacking was successful. There we go. We've got yet another 3 horses. And you know, I think it's probably time that we actually do this siege. So, legendary horsey boys, go assault this wall. And victory. Perfect. We lost 3% of our health, gained 10 food to summon another horse out of thin air, and that's just been it. Fantastic. So, let's talk to the green AI and see what they want. Well, currently nothing. I think we have to hold on to their capital for 1 turn, but next turn they'll come asking for peace. Now, the only thing holding our empire back is a lack of gold, because gold would allow us to basically blitz through all of the production in our empire. But luckily I have a solution for that. And that solution, ladies and gentlemen, is vassalization. Now, I've noticed that there's basically some AIs here who I can give an outpost to. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to found an outpost right here and then give it over to the mercenary AIs. And that way they'll basically become a city-state that's good friends with us. Now, I think it's time for us to attack the Hangjing capital, which we're just going to do immediately because they have an army strength of 13 and we have an unlimited quantity of horses. So that is their capital now firmly in our control, which is brilliant because eventually we'll be able to do a little peace deal with them. Oh, and here comes the peace deal. So we could try and steal their capital province, which sounds great, but no, instead we're going to ask them to become a vassal of our empire. They'll also give us 160 gold, but the great thing about them being vassals is that they'll join all of our little wars, but most importantly, next turn they're going to start giving us basically all of their gold income, which the later the game goes on gets even more insane. So it's turn 50, ladies and gentlemen, and things are looking good for our empire. We are by far, not just in terms of science, population, and, well, everything else that matters, but also militarily. For example, we're able to go to war with the Babylonians here. The Babylonians stand no chance against our horde of an unlimited quantity of horses. Oh my goodness, how many horses can I even bring in? I can bring in a total of 442 unit strength of horses. Yep, let's go to war. Oh, this is going to be fun. Now, many of you might be thinking, Spiff, why are you going to war? Well, it's very simple. If I go to war, I get more horses. Although apparently because that one unit ran away, I now can't fight. Except this unit can come into the picture and we can have an actual fight. There we go. You can't retreat from this bad boy. Oh, no, he can. God damn it, AI. God damn it. Right, we'll be chasing the Babylonians back to their capital and converting all of their resources into horses. Right, I think it's time we just capture the Babylonian capital. Of course, it happens instantaneously and costs us nothing. I'm pretty sure this reduces the Babylonians to basically nothing now, so we can force them to be our vassal, which is brilliant, and they'll also give us 500 gold alongside it. So thank you very much. Well, bam, you've now surrendered, and as our vassals, they'll be giving us fat stacks of cash as soon as their empire recovers from us burning it to the ground. And the best thing is, even though they're my vassals, I can also still demand their territory, which is great fun. Oh my goodness, we've actually unlocked the next era. We might as well actually go for it. Sure. It's only turn 54, but we've conquered this entire continent basically and turned everyone into a vassal, so why not choose our brand new culture? Now, as much as I'd love to stay as the Huns, I think it's time that we probably pivot into something, you know, a little bit more scientific or financial. Wait, except we could just go from being the Huns to being the Mongols. There doesn't have to be an end. The Mongols are even better, plus 100% ransacking gains. That's even stronger than the Huns. Hang on a second. We get to keep the insane order building. king, and we get the Mongol horde, which is just even more powerful. I mean, I just kind of have to, don't I? This is brilliant. It's everything we wanted and more. And look at the legendary Spiff as a Mongol warrior. He looks absolutely fantastic. So we're now into the medieval era, and we are truly jazzy. Now for this era, we simply have to make a huge amount of influence money, make more districts, all of that fun stuff. But more importantly, we're mostly just going to have to take over a whole bunch of cities. Oh, and of course, upgrade our regular raiders into things that are a little bit more jazzy. Now, with all of our vassals actually up and running, our 2 vassals are giving us currently 160 and 120 gold per turn. This is only going to increase as they grow their limited number of cities, because trust me, they're not actually going to be able to settle that many cities, because I will be able to take whatever land from them that I please. Now, my empire has pretty much grown to maximum strength. It's insane. We generate a huge amount of money from our vassals. We control this entire continent. It is just literally all ours. I mean, just look at even the culture spread. It is very easy to see that we are by far the most dominant power on this land. And so naturally, it only makes sense that I send out a whole bunch of floating horses into the ocean to see if they can find new land to conquer. Oh my goodness, we've discovered a AI city-state. It's the Numidians who appear to control this one territory. Naturally, I can't trade with them, which is frustrating, but it doesn't matter because I've realized if I simply land on their territories and murder their peasants using my one Mongol horde monster, I will be able to assert dominance over their puny civilization. Ah, it's all mine. And look, that's a border with a different civilization. So instead of actually sending a unit over there to scout, I'll just build a district. And yep, we can in fact see there are people over there. People whose lands don't belong to us, meaning they will soon belong to us. All right, now with my lovely Mongol horde army, I'm going to start marching towards the AI over here, as I intend to say hello to all of their lovely territories and also to just spawn an army out of thin air as soon as I discover them. Now, what I have discovered over here to the right of our empire in these new terrains is the legendary Nubian Empire. Now, the Nubian Empire is the second strongest faction in the game. That's right, they even have vassals, maybe even a large army. The only downside for the poor Nubian Empire is that I'm a horde faction and I'm going to take their entire continent using only 3 horsey boys. Actually make that 5 horsey boys, although I'm probably only going to use the front 3 because I don't need an army to take their lands. I'm a horde, remember. I literally need just 1 horse unit to pillage once, and that's their entire empire now under my control, because 1 pillage is like 700 additional men. Now into the terrain we go. We've got a lovely rocky field here that we can raid, and I think this is a district that we can equally sack, so this is looking lovely and fantastic. Oh, I'm so excited to pillage this entire brand new continent. It's like I've discovered Christmas again, except the presents are death. Right, now what I'm going to do is transfer one of my lovely horsey boys onto this iron deposit. Now remember, our ransacking is improved and we now gain plus 100% yields from ransacking. What that means on paper is 198 from this ransacking. Now we are about to be attacked, so I'm going to open up this little battle menu and we're going to fight. It's 122 versus 82. Who's going to win? Odds on, chat. Bearing in mind they're using, look at this, swordsmen and archers. Wow, look at that, 24 strength swordsman versus, oh dear, confirmed battle? It's a glorious victory. Oh, fantastic. Right, let's ransack this territory. Come on, that's what I'm here to do. Right now, I'm actually able to move into the next era because I've completed enough era goals, but honestly, no, I kind of actually want to put this off. So there are some great eras we could turn into, like for example, the Ming, but the issue is none of these units are horde units, meaning we'd have to build up these winged hussar units, send them into battle, and then once they start taking damage, we have huge problems. So I'm instead just going to ignore the fact that I could change my religion and focus entirely on just raiding stuff down to the ground. And let us ignore the fact that we're in the next era. We don't need it. My armies are the most insane armies in the universe, and I'd like to keep it that way. Right now, it's basically time for me to start running scouts around the map because I need to try and work out where all of these other AI cities are. And oh my goodness, have you just opened up a land for pillaging? Oh, I don't mind if I do. Yep, we're just going to waltz onto this terrain here and summon an army out of thin air. At the same time, I just need to make sure that there's another army vaguely nearby to defend all of my brand new armies and just being spat out into the air simply so that they can sack all of this terrain. Oh, this is going to just be perfect insanity. So no AI is going to attack this because I've so many men nearby, but equally if they leave it for a turn, this stack of 6 horses will immediately become a stack of about 15 horses. Now that's very fair. Right, and here it comes. The legendary Aztec warriors are all out in full force here today, ready to stand up against a horde of horse archers, and it's not going to go well. Auto resolve and glorious victory. 2% losses and an entire city is mine. Oh, this is so dumb. Right, can I turn you into a vassal or something? I can turn you into a vassal. Oh, sure, why not? Let's just force the surrender of this incredible man. Bam, force surrender, you're mine. I can also demand reparations of 2,000 gold and force you to follow my religion. In return, they simply want money for money and conversion, and we will accept these demands. Perfect. Oh my goodness, this is insane. And because I'm now their king, they're giving me 1,170 gold per turn in vassal tribute. Oh dear God, this is insanity. Well, it means I've finally met the 2 other factions in this game. Who are they? The Norsemen, okay, right, sure, that they're going to be fun to fight. And finally the Franks, okay. Both of which I don't think are likely to stand up against my unlimited quantity of horsey boys. Alright, horsey men, let's go attack the final remaining civilizations of this world, and then we'll convert into a late game civ. Right, now I suppose I should probably actually wander up here and immediately just go to war, because why not? Let's go to war with the Norsemen. Let's go! I mean, of course the Norse people aren't going to be very happy with us, and oh no! What is this? This is a 1v3 and they're behind fences. Cool. Assault with 1 single unit. Confirm. Glorious victory with 1 single unit. Oh, now in order to get to their capital, I need to go through another empire, so you know what that means. It's time for another war. It's war number 2, Electric Boogaloo. I didn't want to have to do this. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I really wanted to have to do this. Right, now, once again, my 3 horsey boys are just going to siege down an entire Frank city, which is going to work instantaneously and grant us glorious total victory. 3% losses, oh dear. Now this city is ours. Oh my goodness, everything is mine. Now the Norsemen want a white peace. Naturally, we're not going to do that, as we are in a position of complete and utter control. I couldn't lose this war even if I wanted to. And I think now's probably the time that we can shift out of our empire, because I realise that whilst the Mongols' bonus of increased money from sacking is great, we do still get to keep this unit even if we change our culture. So I'm going to change our culture. And of course, we're just going to go for the Joseon culture. Why not? They're the one sciencey culture of this era. We might as well adopt into them, put on this very fancy looking robe. I mean, it gives us access to a pretty jazzy boat, I guess, full of guns. But more importantly, it's just all of the science bonuses that I'm interested in, as also moving into the next era allows me to research all of the next jazzy stuff. And of course, most importantly, I get to keep all of my lovely Mongol horse boys, which means I'm going to be sacking every single city I can find. Right, and assault the city, and auto-resolve, and assault the city, and auto-resolve. Glorious success. Oh, it's impossible to lose at this game. And let us end our turns as we move into the next era. Lovely stuff. Oh, new era. We get the scientist bonus, which means this mode will convert industry and money production to science in this city. Oh, that's quite fun, actually. So I suppose if I have a city which produces a huge amount of industry, I can get a fun little bonus, or I can go for my next religious tenant. Now, of course, the best bonus for our religion is to pick up the challenge orthodoxy. This gives us plus 10% science per religious state of our empire, and as we have quite a few religious states, this is basically plus 80% science or so, which increases our science up to a comfortable 1,549, meaning we can research late game technology in 5 turns. Very nice. Oh wait, I can have this city absorb this city into one giant mega city. Yes, mega city. Oh no, this is perfect. We can just have giant mega city and then have this giant mega city absorb all of the other minor cities into one disgusting mega blob of weirdness. Well, after putting a few more cities on science focus mode, it's turn 93 and we're gaining 5,000 science per turn. The game is over. The game is... Yeah, it's pretty much over. We can basically research every late game tech in 1 or 2 turns, which is brilliant, and things have gone a little bit insane. We vassalized the Franks, meaning that there is only one remaining AI faction that we haven't completely decimated, and they only have like 2 cities left or something. Actually, they've got 3. Actually, no, they only have 1, because they merge these 2 cities, which is great. Makes everything a lot easier for me. Right, let's just assault and confirm auto-resolve. Glorious victory, of course. 0 damage taken on our side for 30 food. and that settlement is ours. Can I piece you out yet? I can. It's it. Game over. Forced surrender. Everyone in the world is now my vassal. Everyone. The entire world is my vassal. This is 50 years before the game's even meant to end. Oh, God, right. Seeing as you're my vassal, you can now have my religion. You stopped my trade agreement for tea. Give me 3,200 gold. Did you do it? You did give me 3,200 gold because you stopped the tea trade deal. Can I do it again? I would also like another 3,200 gold for the tea deal you cancelled. And it worked. And of course, that one also went through. Right? Okay. This game has broken me. I can't believe it. I absolutely can't. Good God. This has just been an enlightening game, to say the least. It's been perfectly balanced, just perfectly everything, really. What a truly great experience. Oh my goodness, I think this is it. We've basically researched everything. There's just 2 texts left, both of which are going to take only 1 turn to do. Right, there we go. That is it. That is the end of science, completely. Science is over. We've researched everything that the universe can ever know. It's all inside our little heads. My goodness. Right, this is it. This is the end of the video. I've achieved 180,000 gold. I have infinite influence. I've taken over the entire world. The game is set to end in 8 turns no matter what I do, and well, my era score is 8,304. I can't raise it anymore because in order to do so, I'd have to declare war on my vassals, and I mean, I'm kind of too lazy to do that. I mean, sure, I could defeat them and take all their cities in one go, but what's the point? Also, I've got a corgi next to me because that's how I like to finish all of my videos from now on. And I guess all that's left for me to do is to destroy the balance of this game by just having my capital absorb every other city in my empire, like this one for 4,700 gold. Bam, we now have a mega city, 5,300 gold. Sure, why not? And yeah, let's just absorb everything into our capital city. What could go wrong? Absolutely nothing, I'm sure. Oh my goodness, we just have one great big mega city that produces 5,000 science. Oh, this game. It really is a special something. Now, I'm afraid this is basically it for Humankind because the game doesn't release until March or April, but I'm sure when it does release, you'll definitely be seeing more videos of it on my channel because it's guaranteed to be a perfectly balanced game. Now, of course, as always, if you enjoyed watching today's video, make sure to give it a like and hop on down to the comment section to recommend what video you'd like to see next. I've got a whole plethora of choices for you. Option A, would you like to see a cyberpunk fortify restoration loop where we stack modifiers and they continuously compound upon each other until we create the most powerful item in the game to the point where the game will crash? Or B, do you want to see a Spore video where we manage to beat Spore without even evolving? Or finally C, would you like to see another strategy video of the legendary game that is Civilization 5? Hop on down to the comment section and leave your vote. It does massively help us out when it comes to determining what videos to make next. And of course, hey, if you're new here, do consider subscribing. We'd absolutely love to have you on board. Now, if you do want to unlock your very own Spiffing Brit avatar, which of course you can do, there will probably be a few options when it comes to the game's release and launch, but for the moment, I think you have to follow my Twitch channel. I have a Twitch channel. I'll put it in the comment section. And if I stream Humankind, there's a chance that it drops. But then again, that would require me to actually use my Twitch channel. And I quite enjoy the fact that I'm the 20,000th largest streamer on Twitch, and I've never streamed on Twitch. It does feel quite good to perfectly balance Twitch in my favor. Anyway, as always, a massive thank you to each and every one of our majestic patrons who make these fantastic videos all the more possible. Seriously, pat yourselves on the back. Thank you very much for supporting me over this fun festive period. We've got a whole bunch of videos coming your way, and thanks to your help, I might even be able to have a couple of days off to celebrate Christmas. I know, that's going to be brilliant. Anyway, of course, if you're wondering what video you want to watch next, look no further than this one on screen now, hand chosen by myself to be absolutely perfect for you. Trust me, you're gonna love it. Anyway, I'll see each and every one of you in the next one. Have an absolutely lovely day, and goodbye for now.